Get the most out of your time at work with Karen Gately. Leadership and People Management Specialist.
Karen, I'm a big fan of dress down days, because I like to be cash. But I've not really experienced a stress down day before. Luckily, you're here to tell us all about what that is.
Yes, absolutely. It's just a moment to stop and recognise how stressed am I.
Yeah.
Am I spending a lot of time in a heightened state? Once we can actually see ourselves, see how our mind's operating, we can make more conscious, deliberate choices, about, again, what we take on board, how we manage stress, etc. But Stress Down Day is also a event for Lifeline that's aimed at getting, organisations involved and thinking about, again, how do we create workplace environments that have less stress. So they do that on the 24th of July, I believe, and organisations can get involved in, really supporting that charity, but also thinking about, again, how stressed out are we and what do we need to do about it.
It sounds like a fantastic idea, de-stressing at work, but in practice it's actually a lot more difficult than that, particularly if you're having a hard run of it at the moment or you've got a massive to-do list going on. Yeah. What are some techniques? Are there a couple of simple ones that you can run through?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, the most simple, again, not without wanting to oversimplify, is about choice. That, we get to choose how we perceive our reality. We get to choose how we respond to that. We get to choose how we place priority on our physical, mental well-being. So, absolutely, we can be under the pump. We can have all sorts of things coming at us, lots of demand going on. But in that moment, we still have the ability or the choice to say, okay, there is, as an example, only so much I can do. I can only deliver on so much.
Yeah.
So am I asking the right questions? Am I putting my hand up? Am I pushing back? Am I holding boundaries? Am I creating boundaries? Those are all choices where we can actually keep the pressure at a sensible level.
Sure.
And then ultimately, obviously, just the choices around how we choose to think about it. So am I going to freak out because I'm not going to get this unbelievably big to-do list done, or am I going to acknowledge as I go into it it was never going to completely get done, and I'm going to give myself credit, be proud of myself when I do actually get, lots of those things ticked off.
That's right.
Again.
Be more realistic with it.
Now, Karen, sometimes, say you're working in a small kind of team, and you might be feeling the pressure and you're really struggling with some stuff. But if you are in a small team, a lot of the time you probably feel like everyone else is just as stressed as you.
Don't you just?
And how do you go about handling that then? If you feel like you need some help, but you don't want to put that pressure on your other team members.
Yeah, look, I think it's about, again, having conversations as teams. There are, in my experience, there are times where we do have to dig deep, we do have to link arms and get through really tough times, but then there's also lots of times where we really need to question what it is that we're working on, what it is that we are prioritising and doing. And so by having those ongoing conversations around our shared load and our shared accountability, we're more likely to get help from one another, because someone might say, for example, well, actually, I'm now working on this, I've got probably 4 or 5 weeks to get onto that. I'm happy to drop it for the next couple of days and help you to get ahead of what you're doing. Now, obviously, I don't want to sound, again, overly simplistic. Obviously, it requires that people have the skills and the experience, the ability to drop what they're doing and help you. But I guess the key point is if we're not even asking the question, if we're not letting people around us know, then, again, we can't collaborate, we can't support one another. But then also just challenging ourselves as a group as to how ambitious are we and how realistic are we. It's one thing to be really driven and to be ambitious to want to achieve at a certain standard within a certain time frame, whatever it might be. But is that real? Do we actually have the bandwidth to get that done? And are we going to kill ourselves trying to get there unless we adjust the plan?
Well, a lot of those stressful things, they start out small. Whether it's a task that just is kind of sitting there in the back of our mind that gets bigger over time because we've left it. How do you stop those small things becoming the big things that just really do become quite debilitating?
Yeah, that's right. Again, it's about getting onto them early, isn't
Yeah.
it? Which is the easy answer.
I'm never good at that, though. I'm good at
I
leaving
know
things.
from way back.
I know. I see it obviously in
Yeah.
my kids as well around study, all sorts of things where, you know, we see the pain. It's like, oh, can I just put that off to another day?
Yeah.
You know, I'll take on the pain later.
Yep.
But often the anticipation of the pain is actually more stressful than the pain itself. You know, so we spend all this period of time going, oh, I've got to do that thing. I've got to do that thing. Oh, that thing is good. Oh, it's killing
Yeah.
me. It's got to get done. And then when we finally actually just do it, we discover it wasn't that stressful. It was
Yeah.
a lot quicker than we anticipated. and we've actually put ourselves through all of this anxiety
Yeah.
because this thing exists.
Yep.
You know, so again, it's something I learned in the martial arts. Take the pain early. Just do
Just
it.
get it over with.
past
Good one.
that part.
I like that.
Get
I
that
like that.
hard part done and passed, and then we can, you know, get into a happier space from there.
Lovely. If you do find that you are needing to apply for stress leave, or I guess the question is, are you allowed to? Who has the right to apply for stress leave?
Yeah.
What's the deal with it?
Well, look, I think, again, our mental health and well-being is very much part of health and well-being.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you need to take time out because your mental well-being, your physical well-being is being undermined because of stress at work, then you all have a right to put your hand up and take that time out. You know, you will need to go and see your doctor. It's, you know, in my experience, smart employers, compassionate employers recognise that every now and again it just makes sense for someone to de-stress and take the day off, right? And they're happy for you to take whatever leave balance you have to be able to do that. Other employers are less mindful of that or less open to that. But again, make it a priority for you.
Yeah.
If you honestly believe that stress is, again, at a point where it's a problem or you really need to learn how to manage it, then go and get that professional help and get signed off and take the day and regroup.
I like it. It's solid advice. If you need help de-stressing at work, Karen Gately has got all the advice for you. Coming up next week, Karen, we are looking at women in the workplace. We'll catch you next Monday.
Thank you.